For this project, you will need a vase and some rope. And both of the items I got at the Dollar Tree in a garden area. I used two of those rope to wrap it all the way around my vase, and I started from the bottom, securing everything with my hot glue, and I went all the way to the top. When I finished my last piece at the top, I measured, kind of eyeballing how I wanted, where I want to place the handles, and I made sure to cut two identical pieces. So, because I like to mess these things up, but anyway, you make sure the two handles are identical. So I placed them again on my vase, securing with the glue, and then I decided, you know what, I need to put something around to cover that ugliness. It kind of look a little imperfection, maybe you will say, not the ugly thing. But anyway, so I wrapped the rope one more time around it, and I thought it did some kind of dimension. So I actually like it how it turned out. So after that, I put a little bit of rocks in the bottom of the vase, and then I used this foam cube. I wanted to just stuff it in there, but it was like wiggling, so I cut it and pushed it in. So that was that. And then I got some foam stickers, and I like to add the hearts, even though, this could be a Valentine's project or it could be a, everyday item. And this is my everyday item. Then I went and pulled up some roses that I got from the Dollar Tree, some foam hearts, and I cut them with my wire cutters and placed them you kind of look in how you think that fit. And mine were all white, and I thought, you know what, I want to add a little bit of yellowish and some baby breath, so it kind of gives a different, the flower bouquet. So I was gonna use just the plain hearts, but then I found in my stash those ones that just the outline one, and I placed them in between randomly, and I thought it turned out pretty cool. I love this little bouquet that is now on my decor stand. So for this project, you will need a kitchen towel, and I have purchased a bunch of those. And I think this in particular one was from Marshalls or TJ Maxx in one of those stores. I just kitchen towel junkie. I telling you, I have so many. My husband's like, "Oh my gosh, we have more towels now than we have the reef," and that should tell you something because I do love the reefs. So anyway, what we did here, we got the pizza pan as well because we're making a sign. And what I did, I measured like a circle around my pizza pan. I outlined it, cut it out, and then used my hot glue to secure the pizza towel, or now my design, to my pizza pan. And I worked in small pieces with the hot glue so it doesn't get all the chunky, or sometimes it bleeds through. So when I was done gluing that, I used the nautical rope. You can get it in any crafters area, so they have, and it's not that expensive, but I will look for you on Amazon if you do not go shop in person in a store this time. So when you're done with that, then you get any ribbon of your choice. I like the burlap, and I made a cute little, like a shoelace bow. Not very fluffy. I want it very plain because I want this to be a really cute sign on the wall without anything, like big, because I just did a big bow to my wreath. So when I glued the bow to my pizza pan and now sign, it looked like it was missing something on the middle, of course, for me, as you know. So I took my lace ribbon, I cut a little flower out of it and added to the middle. Then again, digged into my Valentine's stash and got some of the heart stickers. And that is all for this project. Of course, you will need to make a little loop in the back and attach to the back of the pizza pan. And guys, pour a lot of glue to it and leave it alone. And voila, we got it. So for this project, you will need a loop yarn, and it is pink, as you can tell, and a heart-shaped frame. And guys, I have a story about this loop yarn. I have it for over almost 12 years because I was all into knitting and, and I was pregnant, so I thought I would be having a girl, but God had a different plan for me. So obviously I had a boy, so now I have ton of yarn that I use in for my projects. Anyway, after you done wrap the yarn around the reef form, you all secure it, you fluff it up. So I used my easy bow maker again because I wanted the big bow for this project. And as you could tell, I used two different ribbons, and you can use any ribbons you like, or you can make it as big or as small as you wished as well. So after I attached it to the reform, I also glued a little piece of heart to the middle. You can use any, you can create one, you can use a piece of, one of the felt ones or the wooden one, any heart you have. So then I used the styrofoam hearts and again a little felt heart. And I put that kit together because it just coming apart, so I don't want my pieces to fall off my reef. But anyway, that is all for this project. So for this project, we will need this Dollar Tree sign. I turn it around and I used my Waverly chalk paint in a color ink to kind of make lines and outline where I want the borders to pick through. So after I used this black ink color, I left it alone to just a tad to dry, not fully. Then I went back to my Waverly chalk paint in a color white, and I got all over and kind of mix it so it gets this, the grayish effect, and the lines are not that sharp but still peeking through. So while my sign was drying, I took this set that I got from the Dollar Tree. It had a love sign on a stick and four additional foam little hearts. And I went over the love sign with my Beverly chalk paint in a color white because I didn't want it to be that glittery. So I used my little sponge brush, and I did not take off the letters from the sticks because I try to avoid to get paint on my fingers, but it never works for me. So after I was done going over, then I used my smaller brush and I went to those edges that I could not reach with my foam brush. Now, since my sign is dried, I got this wooden shape heart that is from Dollar Tree, and I outline it with my pencil because I'm very bad in drawing. I want it to be a perfect heart shape. And then I got the nautical rope that is from Dollar Tree as well. I cut up a little piece where they have this tape over it, and then I used my hot glue gun to go over the shape of the heart and secure the rope in place. Now I got some Dollar Tree flowers that I have saved from last year that were excess that I did not use. I cut them to make them shorter to fit the side of the heart where I want to place them with my wire cutters. And most of them, my Valentine's project, I like to use them all year long. So I thought those flowers were a perfect addition to this sign. So after I used my hot glue to secure the flowers how I want it, I got a piece of jute and I made a cute little hanger that I would like to attach it right now before I proceed to the next step. So for this project, I will be using this Dollar Tree frame that says pantry. I will not be messing with the inside of the frame. I actually like the sign and I like how rustic it looks on edges, so I would like to leave it alone. So it will be peeking through from under my sign that I'm planning to make. But I will use the Beverly, not, it's not a white, it's a plaster chalk paint, and I will go around the edges of the frame. I'm not going to be doing a full coat, just a little bit. Then after I left that alone to dry, I use Dollar Tree banner. This is in the Valentine's area, and I like to use just the top, but I don't want it to be that colorful, so I want it to be in a kind of farmhouse buffalo plaid check style. So I removed the heart and I traced it on top of my buffalo check material that I got it from Walmart in the sample area. It's like 98 cents you pay for this big piece of material. So then with my scissors, I cut the heart out and I will use my hot glue to glue it back to the heart. Then again, with my scissors, I will kind of go around the edges of the heart to remove excess of the redness that is peeking through. So that is what I'm gonna do to the heart to kind of make it the way I want it to be, like the old lookish. So then I measured my sign to the bottom where I wanted kind of to peek through. So I removed the red edges with my scissors and I trimmed the sign a little bit. I also removed the buttons, as you can see, but I will be saving the buttons because I will be putting them back. So I used the hot glue to glue the sign to my bottom sign, and again I trim it a little bit so it will be nice, and that redness would be not there. Then I place my buttons back and I attach my cute little heart right to the middle. So for that, I also thought that was missing something. So I had this metal kind of looking little heart, and it was attached to one of a kind of mason jar from a Dollar Tree. It isn't from the Valentine's theme as well. So I used that little heart and attach it to the top. So then I assemble my frame back all together. I did not use the glass because I didn't really want it. So I saved it for some other projects, but this is what I did. And when I turn around and looked at it, it looked gorgeous. I like how it looks. Also, I wanted to add a very small little bow to the top of the frame. So I got my ribbon that it is from Walmart, and it's going to be a very simple, like a shoelace bow. You folded it twice. I made a little cute little tail, secured on the middle with a jute, just fluffed it up, and voila, your bow is done. So when I placed it to the middle of my frame, it was kind of like it needed a button right in the middle, but I did not have cute enough button to add to it. So I decided to pull a little bit of the flower, like a small teeny tiny flowers that I have in my summer bundles that I had from Dollar Tree. So after I added this cute little white flower with kind of little, I think some kind of purple thing peeking through, it made the world of difference. All right, guys, for this project, you will need a frame. I have a lot of those because I recycled them, a scrapbook paper, and some wooden tiles. So what I did, I outlined the frame so I know exactly the measurements. Then I cut it out, used my hot glue to secure it. Then, of course, placed it back to make sure it's all fit nicely. Then I picked out the word out of my wooden tiles, which I wanted it to say, love you more, and I used the hot glue to place the letters the way I wanted them. So then I put the frame back together, and of course, I decided that it needed a bow. I used one of those that came off out of I don't even know what project it was, but it's a recycled bow, I guess. I did not make this one. So I placed it right in the middle. I secured the little lace because it was not cooperating right, and then I added a little felt heart, and here we go. This project I'll be using a Dollar Tree puzzle, and as you can see it had 100 pieces. One box would be enough for this project. So right now I am using my Waverly chalk paint in a color white, and I painted it every puzzle, every little piece of puzzle. So I did not use even half of it. Well, maybe half it will be enough for this project, but one box will be plenty for you. So after my puzzles were drying, I have this sign from the Dollar Tree that it had like a Wi-Fi password, and I removed the top piece of little board that was attached. I sent it in, and then I used again my Beverly White chalk paint to paint it over. I give it a few coats because I didn't want any of the sign peeking through. So while the heart and the puzzle pieces are drying, I'm using this Dollar Tree frame. I took it apart and I'm not going to paint the frame, but I will be painting the back of the frame, by which I used the Beverly chalk paint in a color elephant. And I only give it a one coat because I kind of like all that black that is on the back was originally on the cardboard is peeking through. I thought it'd give it some really cool effect, you know. So one coat was enough and I was happy with it. So I put that aside and my heart was ready. So I was picking randomly pieces from my puzzles and I was going all the way around the heart, just randomly placing them and using a hot glue to secure everything. When I finished the first round, I thought it wasn't enough puzzle pieces, so I just went one more time, again in around the heart, but I was placing the pieces not in any kind of order, just on top of the bottom layer. So I'm kind of making them looks like it's a big pile. So then after that, I pulled this little heart from one of the Dollar Tree Valentine's sign. It already had a burlap on it, which was perfect. And this tiny little buffalo check heart was on one of the mason jar sign from the Dollar Tree as well. It is a all in a Valentine's area. So I removed it and thought, you know what, it will fit perfectly on this heart picture that I'm trying to make. So after that was done, I got this banner from the Dollar Tree. I got several of those, as you could tell. I like the wording, which it says "Love You More." I remove carefully all the wordings and from this banner. I save the hearts because I will be using them for different projects, which you will see in upcoming videos. But what I did here, I trimmed my words and I kind of measured them and placed them how I envisioned them on the sign. And they were a little bit not the same, so I try to trim it as much as possible, and I think it turned out pretty good. So I placed them on my painted sign, and I like how it looked. So now I'm gonna use the hot glue and glue everything in place. Now we're going to be making a cute little wreath, and for this project you will need a Dollar Tree heart frame along with the chunky yarn in a color white. And I got my yarn in a Walmart a couple of years ago. I'm pretty sure they're still selling it. I will link all the supplies in the description below. So I like to work in like sections, so I cut a little bit of yarn for myself so it will be easy to get it through while I'm wrapping the yarn around the frame, and I'm securing some of the edges, not all the time, like every other time when I wrap, I will put a little bit of hot glue on the frame so the yarn will stay in place. Next, I decided to add a little Anne. This is for my daughter. Her name is Natalia, and I got it from Walmart. It was 98 cents in the crafting section. I will try link it in the description below as well for you. And also, I am attaching a couple of foam rose flowers. They are from the Dollar Tree. Dollar Tree had an amazing supply this year, so I was so pleased when I found them. And that's pretty much it with the wreath. Then I cut a little piece of the yarn and made a little like a knot on it. Just wrapped it around, pull it through, and I attached it to the back to make a little hanger because she wants to hang it on the wall and not on her door. And if you want to do it for the door, you just get it through instead of the loop, or you just hang the whole frame right on that little wreath hook. All right, so for this project, you will need a wooden heart. a scrapbook paper, and you can get the wooden heart in any of the stores in the crafting area. They are fairly inexpensive, but vintage scrapbook paper that I got it as a big bundle on clearance at the Michaels. I will see if I can find something for you and link it in a description below. So I cut the heart out and then used my hot glue to secure it on my wooden heart. So then I made sure everything is nice and nothing's coming on the side. So then I got some jute, and this one of this jute ropes that I got it on Amazon for sure, and I really like it because it's very thick, and I just love how it looks. So I outline the edges of the heart and secure it with the hot glue. Now what I did, I cut another piece of jute and I'm making a round, kind of roundish handle. So what I did, I applied a little bit of hot glue at the bottom of the jute and then I applied a lot on the top of it. So and I let it sit until the glue completely dried. After the glue dried on my handle, I took the love sign and it came in sets of three. I think I got it from Walmart and I applied the glue only on the first and the last letter just in case I want to reuse it for a later project. After that was done, I pulled one of the cute little flowers from my spring flowers that I got from Michael's and attached it to the middle. And that was all for this project. I love how it turned out. Usually I keep my Valentine's project all year long. For this project, we'll be using this Dollar Tree Christmas sign, and I liked actually the sign, so I decided not to mess with it in the front, so I turned it around, and I used Beverly chalk paint and a color plaster in the back to paint my sign. I give it only a one coat. While that was drying, I took my Valentine's wooden heart. They have plenty of those at the Valentine's area right now at the Dollar Tree, and I painted it again using the Beverly chalk paint in a color white. And I give it a two coats because I want it to be a really, really white before I proceed to the next step. So while my heart was drying, the sign already dried. So I pulled my Beverly chalk paint in a color mineral, and I used it on top of my plaster chalk paint that's already dried because I wanted to have this kind of dirty, rustic looking sign background for my sign. So while that was drying, I used again the same chalk paint, which is the mineral from Beverly. And what I did, I put water and I was dipping my brush in the water, in the paint, and kind of going around the heart. So in between, I was using a paper towel and kind of wiping the water and the paint all together because I wanted to have this kind of like a little dirty effect, and it did the job. I'm really happy with the color the heart turned out. Okay, so the next thing, I went around the edge of the heart with a ribbon that looks like little balls on it. I really liked it. I purchased it at the Walmart, but it's really not a lot in that spool. It was barely enough to cover the heart. I have just a teeny tiny excess left. So be careful if your heart is larger and you wanted to use this kind of ribbon, you might need to buy two of them. So I went with my hot glue all over the edges of the heart and I attached the ribbon. Careful, hot glue is hot. So when it was done, I didn't want the ribbon to move like the little balls are wiggling. So I went under each little ball and I dab a teeny tiny piece of hot glue and I placed them in place so they would not move when I attached the whole heart to my sign. Now I decided to add a ribbon to my sign. So I took a Dollar Tree ribbon and I measured it and made a little cute dovetail on it. And I kind of had to adjust it because I couldn't figure out the size. So I did that at the top and I did the same thing to the bottom. Okay, now I'm going to use a Dollar Tree glitter foam letters. And at the beginning, I kind of wanted them a different color, but when I opened the package, it was actually such a nice and this pink and glitter that I decided to leave it alone because when I placed it on my ribbon, it just did it. I was like, okay, I love it. I'm going to leave it alone. So as you can see at the top, I'm spelling the word love and I wanted to place the word and inside the heart kind of going diagonal. That it will give this kind of different effect and not just, all in a straight line. And at the bottom of my sign, I spelled the word family. And I thought it was just a great dimension of everything playing together. And now, since all the letters are done and the words are spelled exactly how I wanted, it is time to glue the heart. I used my Sherbanta hot glue on the back of this wooden sign, and I pressed it a little bit on it to give it a little, push for the glue to work. And as you can tell, all stays in place. Now I'm making a small little hanger, which is you get a piece of jute, make a cute little knot, and apply lots of hot glue. And here we go. It is all finished. This project, I used this cute little frame that I found at the Dollar Tree, and I will be using the inside instead of the outside. So I took the wrapper off and I used my Beverly chalk paint and a color white, and I painted all inside. And I did not forget the edges, but I didn't go all the way with the paint outside the frame because I kind of like the design that it came from, and I left it alone. So I added a couple of coats because I wanted to be a very, very white since I will be attaching a heart to the middle. So I wanted the contrast to be a really good one. Next, while I was waiting for my frame to dry, I got this heart from the Dollar General. I took it apart. I removed all the staples, the jute, and the metal heart. But the metal heart, guys, I'll be using it again in this project, so I just set it aside. Then I went to my Beverly chalk paint in the color white. I give it a good coat on top of the heart. So when my paint was completely dried, I used a apple barrel pink polish paint all over this heart, but I wanted this light pink, so I used a paper towel, and as you could tell, I was dipping my brush in the water a lot because I didn't wanted this bright pink. I wanted just a little bit. So when I achieved the look of the heart that I wanted by using that paper towel, I wipe it several times, then I proceed to the next step. Now I will be using a jute because I want to have the jute outline the heart. So I used my hot glue to secure the jute on the edges of the heart. After I glue my heart to the middle of the frame, I used a little bit of the same paint to this little sticker that I attached to the middle of the metal heart so it will blend in all together nicely. So after that was done, I decided that it needed a little bow, and as you've seen in my prior projects, I used like a banner and there was a bow attached that I did not use, so I'm saving the scraps from my prior project, and this bow just fit on this frame perfectly. For this project, I will use a Dollar Tree frame that I got at the Valentine's area, and with my ice scraper, I will scrape all the glitter from the letters, and then I will use the little sanding block to sand the glitter down a little more because I wanted the perfect no glittery frame before I start painting. So after I was done with that, I used the Beverly chalk paint in a color elephant, and I went all the way around the frame. Just one time, I wanted just a little bit of grayish, kind of like an old vintage style of the frame. So when I was finished with the elephant color of the chalk paint, then I went back to my white chalk paint and I used a dry method effect. If you have not have done that before, it's just a dry brush and you dip it a little bit in the frame, and then as you can see, I used a little bit of tray to kind of get access of the paint from the brush so it doesn't do too much of the paint on the frame, just a little bit. So after that was done, I had this scrapbooking paper, which is the notes. And if you guys interested, I got it on the Amazon, and I will see if I can find the link, and I will link in the description below. You get like I got like a bunch. It's like a almost 48 pages, and it's actually double-sided, so you can use on a double-side projects. But what I did, I cut the edges off, and I used my Elmer's glue to glue that sheet of the paper to the frame right on the middle because I will be attaching burlap to the top of it, and I want the notes to pick through my project. So next I went and cut a piece of burlap. I got it at the burlapfabric.com. I will link it in the description below as well. And what I did, guys, actually, this is a huge roll. It's like 100 yards, and this is a very good quality burlap. I love it. So I cut this piece, and then I outline, as you could tell with my markers, the frame size, and I cut it around it all the way. So, and then I measured again to make sure it fits my frame. And I got this cute little felt heart that comes in a set from the Dollar Tree, and all I needed, I wanted a perfect heart for my outline. So what I used my pencil, I went all the way around the heart, and then when that was done, I used my scissors and cut the heart out around what I just outlined. So next what I did, I used my hot glue to secure my burlap on my frame. I went all the way around my burlap and then I turn it around, but guys be careful because uh, the piece fell off and I almost ruined the project because the glue started sticking to the paper, but I managed to not ruin it, as you could tell, and it turned out pretty cute. So after that was glued and secured, I wanted to give a little bit of brush, like a white brush streaks, dry brush, like I showed you before on the frame. I wanted to do inside the frame as well. So I went to the same method. I got the same brush. I did it, dipped it a little bit back in the excess of the paint that I have left from the prior, and I went kind of on the edges of the frame and a little bit around, so it kind of, the heart doesn't stand out that much, because I want it all to be blended and looks perfect, because this is a project that I keep all year. Most of my Valentine's project I keep all year long, so I love this, how this turned out. So next thing, what I did, I had this sets of keys that I purchased at Michael's. I will link it in the description below. I'm pretty sure I can find it. And on the key that I picked, it said heart, and I thought it would be just a perfect addition to my project. For this project, you will need 4 painter sticks. You can get them at the Home Depot. I got a bunch of them. They're actually free in the painters area, a glue gun, and a sticker. And the sticker is transparent. So what I did, I glued the sticks together using my hot glue. You can use the wood glue as well. But what I did, I decided to use the hot glue this time. And then when it was all secured, all 4 boards were glued together, I pulled my popsicle sticks that I got from Walmart and I stapled them on the back of my boards to reinforce the projects, even though it didn't need it. The glue held it pretty well. Now, after you got your sign already, it's ready to be painted. And what I used the Beverly chalk paint in a color white. And when it dried, I used a Beverly chalk paint as well in the color hazelnut. And the hazelnut, I just used that little dry brush method all over it because I wanted to be like a little farmhouse style effect. So after that was all dried and ready to be Mod Podge it, I used the Mod Podge all over the board. So after that was done, I placed my sticker on top of my board and I used the Mod Podge again, but what I did, I used it only on the edges of the sign. After the Mod Podge was dried, I decided to add a lace ribbon to the top, which is a burlap as well. I got this ribbon from Target for sure, and I will see if I can find you a substitute on Amazon if you are interested. So I measured the little piece of ribbon that I cut it out, and then I made a little dovetails on each end and secured with my hot glue to the sign. After I was done gluing the piece of ribbon to my sign, I attached my burlap heart to it, and I had a set of 5 of them, and I don't remember where I got them because this is last year's supplies, but I will see if I can find you something like that, and I will link it in the description below if you are interested and maybe want to recreate. And the last thing you will need to do is create a little holder for your sign. So I used a piece of jute and I tied a knot and secure it with the hot glue. And that is all. We got ourselves a really cute kitchen sign. This is one of my favorite projects because my son really liked it, so I was really happy to make it for him. So you will need some old sign, a then three wooden hearts, a love sign, and Beverly chalk paint in a color white and in a color red. So what I did, I turned the sign around because I liked the saying in the front, so I didn't want it to ruin it. So I painted in the back using my white paint, and while that was drying, I paint my love sign and three little hearts in a Beverly chalk paint, and it's a color red. When everything dried, I placed it how I envisioned them on my new sign, and then I used the hot glue to secure them all in place. While that was done, I looked, and those little holes on the wooden hearts were kind of a little bothering me. So I was thinking, what can I do? First, I thought to add a little bit of flowers to it, but it would be too big. So I remember I had this ribbon that I got it from burlapfabric.com. So it has little flowers. So I cut three of them and cut around just to make a perfect shape of a flower. And I attached it to that sign, and I thought it turned out amazing. I really like it. So after that was done, I used the jute again, and since it's already had the little holes pre-made, I just pass it through, made a little knot, and here we go. It's all done. Look how gorgeous it is. So for this DIY, we will need this Dollar Tree banner that I got again at the Valentine's area. They have so many cute things this year. So let's back to the project. I took the banner apart, kind of took all the excess off of it, and then I used the burlap again, the one that I have 100 yard roll. So I have to use it. So, and this year I am making like part of my house in a farmhouse style. So this is a perfect material to use. So what I did, I outlined my banner on the burlap on the fabric, and I went a little bit smaller than the banner is because I didn't want my burlap to cover the whole banner. So I went, as I said, smaller on it. As you can tell, now you can see the white on the side of the banners. So when I was done with that, I took my wooden heart that I got at the Dollar Tree as well, and I will not be using the heart. It's just an outline so I can draw a perfect heart on my, this is a buffalo check material that I got at the Walmart. It is a sample area that you can get a couple. I think they like either between 98 cents to $2. It depends how big of a piece you will get. I love sampling those materials because this way I don't have a lot, and when I'm done using, I just go back and buy it again. So what I did, I cut the perfect heart, and then I placed it on my banner. So I used my Sharebond glue gun to secure my heart to the banner. Again, be careful. I tried not to burn myself, but I always managed to burn myself. So I didn't use too much glue, but just a little bit to secure the heart. So after that was done, I went back to my set of felt hearts that I got. This time of the year, the Dollar Tree has amazing set of Valentine hearts. So I got this set, and it had, I think, 16 of those adorable white little hearts. So I thought it was a perfect addition to this one. I have seen this inspiration on Pinterest, and I was looking forward to recreate it for my Valentine's collection. So I used the black marker. As you could tell, I wrote Amor on it. And then I went back to my spraying bucket where I keep my greenery, and I pulled this. This is from Dollar Tree, guys. I don't even know what it's called. It's some kind of leafy thing I got last year. So what I did, I used my hot glue, and I went all the way around the heart, securing this kind of like a garland around my Amor felt, little white felt heart. And that's pretty much it for this project. For this DIY, I used this Love Dollar Tree sign, and I really was looking forward to use it for something else, but I needed four of those, and I could not find in any of my Dollar Tree. I was lucky to score one. So what I did, I paint all the letters except the letter E with the Beverly chalk paint in a color plaster. And then on the letter E, I did use my buffalo check material. As you know, those are samples from Walmart. I don't think I can link it, but I'm gonna try find you something similar, maybe something on Amazon, not that expensive that you can use if you are not going out to shopping because I do make runs once a week. I'm trying to go for groceries and peek through the craft area just to pick up what I need so I don't have to go out as much. But anyway, so what I did, I cut the letter E and I secure all the stuff, all my material around the letter with my Sherbanda hot glue gun. And then I used this little, that was a garland that is from Dollar Tree that I have left from Christmas. And I was debating if to throw away, but I am stashing all kinds of stuff and I was really happy because it became really handy. So what I did, it's very bendable. I made a shape of the heart and I had to really adjust a couple of times because it was giving me some lip. It didn't want to be the shape that I wanted, but I finally made it to stay the way I want. So I glue it to the heart on the letter O, and then I found this little heart in a buffalo check. I had two of those, and they were attached on a mason jar. So I was perfectly fine to use it on this project. Well, that was all for today. Thank you so much, guys, for joining. For this project, you will need a kitchen towel, and I got mine at the TJ Maxx. And in addition, you will need a pillow, and usually I get mine at the Walmart. This is the cheapest pillow, so I can open and use the stuffing to make my decorative pillows. But when I looked at the towel, it was a little off because it wasn't look like a square one. It looked like a rectangle. And yes, when I measured it, it was 18 by 14, and I wanted to be a square one, so I made it 14 by 14. So after I marked it off, I cut the axis on the side. For the next step, I really enjoy using the sheer bonder fabric glue, but you guys can sew it. It's up to you how you want to secure the sides. But what I did, I used the fabric glue a little by little. I like to work in the small parts. So because this glue dries very fast, and if you pour a lot, it's gonna make, this harsh lines. So what I did, I secured two sides, and on the third side, I left it halfway. Then I insert my pillow stuffing, and when that was done, I secured the rest of the way. And here we go. We got ourselves a cute little decorative pillow. DIY. For this project, you will need a reform shape of a heart, a chunky yarn, which mine is in a color white. I have leftovers, but I will try find it for you. I think Walmart still have it. I bought it a long time ago, but I have seen it at Walmart and I have seen it on Amazon. So I will link it in the description below for you if you are still looking for it. What I do right now, I am liking the work with yarn in the small pieces so it doesn't get tangled, and I cut some section off and I wrapped it all the way around the reef, securing it with the hot glue. Now, I like to make a big bow for this project, so I will be using my easy bow maker. And guys, this thing is amazing to make a big bow. But what I do, I put the ribbon through the big two dowels in between, and I measure the loops how big I want them to be. So mine are 5 inches long, and I did two loops on each side, which you make in a loop, then you twist. You push the ribbon through the middle, then you twist it again and make another loop. So what I like to do at the end, I lift my new bow just a little up off my bow maker, and I stick a zip tie under it, and then I take the bow completely off and secure it before I release so my bow doesn't come apart. Now we attach the bow to the reef form, and I decide that it's missing something after I keep messing with it. I love my bow to be all nice, big, and fluffy, so I add red sparkly heart to the middle, and I thought it did the job. Next, what I did, I got this craft kit from my kids because they are not using it anymore, and of course, you see that it's all falling apart, so I glued two little hearts together. But if you don't have that, the easy option to do this is a made out of felt, so you can cut two little hearts and recreate exactly the same. So, and the last piece of things that I added was two foam glittery red hearts. And we are done. Look how gorgeous this is. All right, for this project, you will need this really cool Dollar Tree wooden frame. They actually have two different kinds, and I was so happy I picked up both of them. You will see another one in the next project. So I took the heart apart, and I used my white chalk paint to paint it white, but it won't be completely white. You will see what I mean later on. But while my chalk paint was dried, I got that. Insides that came with the frame, and I outlined it on top of the picture that I printed because I wanted to be like black and white. If you have a picture already printed, you can use it, but all of mine are really colorful, so I went black and white because I kind of want the farmhouse to match it. So, and as you can tell, the picture wasn't exactly the right side. So, what I did, I just shaded those white areas with my pencil, and I think it worked out perfectly. So, after I'm done with that, I used the glue stick. I think it's amazing. You don't need to use any other glues unless you want it. This worked out just great. I placed the heart on that cardboard that came originally with the frame, and as you could tell on the back, it was a little bit of excess of the paper. So I trim it with my scissors. And after all that was done, I used the Dollar Tree Mod Podge all over my little new picture frame that I made. So after that was done, I set it aside and I print out this little wording that says family love all you need. But the love sign was too big, and you will see what I mean later on. So what I did, I got my permanent marker and I outlined the heart from the inside because I wanted to have a little bit of dimension, not all, white. And then I went to my chalk paint again, and it was a color of truffle, not hazelnut. Originally, I was going to use the hazelnut, but it was too light. And then I just dry brushed the side of it and a little bit on the top of the frame. So when that was all done, I got this Dollar Tree jute. And even though I already outlined the heart, I kind of wanted something different, so it's gonna stand out for me. So I you don't have to do that step, but I used that Dollar Tree rope and I went all the way around securing it with my hot glue. So after that was done, I went back to my stickers that I printed out using my Cricut, but you can use a carbon paper like I showed you right now, and you can print it on any wording you like and then outline it on your frame using that carbon paper. Or if you have a Cricut, you can just print it out and any wording you like. I thought that was really cute wording, and I just loved it. Sometimes you just love something and it just fits your project's just wonderful. So anyway, I placed all of that on my frame, and as always, I don't know if you guys do that. Do you guys do that? I always put the Mod Podge on my printouts, meaning the Cricut or just any wording I do, I Mod Podge it over. Just I don't know, just to secure it all so it stays in place. Okay, so this is what I mean that the love sign was too big, but I found those stickers at the Dollar Tree and it wasn't sticking to the frame. So I put Mod Podge again on the frame and it actually worked out pretty cool. Then I added the little sticker on the top, and then I massage over it again so that it will stay in place. Now, I made a tiny little, like a lace bow, and I made a little hanger on the back. I forgot to film it how I made it. It actually came with a little stick, and the frame has a hole in the back that you can actually put it stand. But all my frames are hanging on the wall, so I just tied a knot and hot glue it in the back. Now I insert my picture back, and here we go. Perfect. All right, so for this project, you will need some Jenga blocks or tumbling blocks, whatever you call it. They are in the toy area. I finally found them at the Dollar Tree. Some wooden plank and a picture again I will be using. You can use anything you like. And what I did, I glued the white shape because the Jenga blocks are coming in like a dark wood and a light wood, so I picked all the light ones. And what I did, I used four on one side and three on the other sides. So I secured them all with the hot glue, and after all that was done, after I put it all together, I used a little bit of popsicle sticks. I cut them. You don't have to do this step, but I like to use my staple gun, so I think that was an excuse to use it. So I glued those little pieces on the back of the frame and used my staple gun to secure them just in case they'll fall apart, but I don't think they would because the glue is perfect. Anyway, then I used my chalk paint and painted over with the white color. Now, the wooden plank, I could not find antique wax in a chalk paint in a Walmart, so I bought it at the Hobby Lobby. And what I did, I just stained the wood and used the paper towel to clean it up. And then I just dry brushed the same antique wax. I will link it in the description below if you want to know which one I used. And I just brush it the same way, just dry brush it over my little frame, then wipe it with the paper towel again. So when that was done, I placed my little wooden plank right in the middle and secured it with the hot glue. Then I got this picture I printed out. It was a long time ago. Well, not a long time ago. It was a couple of years ago. We went to Vegas and we made an appointment because I really wanted to take a picture as a showgirl, and my husband was dressed like my bodyguard by this old vintage car. So I love that picture. So I printed out in black and white, and what I did, I kind of ripped it in apart so it looks like it's old. And what I also did, I went back to my antique wax and I added a little bit to those white sides so it looks like it's old and rustic. So after that was done, I made another hanger, placed it in the back, and I made a cute little bow that we can't go without the bow, right? So if you want to know how to make this bow, I actually made a ton of them during the Christmas. I put it in the video, so I'll link it in the description below. And then again, I used the Mod Podge to go over my picture. And here we go. Look how cute it is. Okay, so guess what we're gonna be making right now? Another reef. Wow, guys, my husband was asking me, I wonder how many reefs you're gonna make this year. The reef's gonna beat the pillows. I don't know. Well, anyway, what you need for this project is the heart shape, the reform that I got from Dollar Tree, and as I told you, I have a ton of this yarn from my prior obsession with knitting. But right now, actually, Hobby Lobby has this chunky yarn on sale, and they like 50% off. So if you want it, I will link it in the description below, or you might need to go to the store. I don't know how the coupon works. So what I decided to do, I decided to weave it in between the first two wires. And it took me a while, guys, I'll not be lying, and it was a tedious project because I had to kind of twist the rope, well, not the rope, my yarn, so it will be like, like the rope between the pink and the white one. So I kept doing it until I got all the way to the end. It took me a while, that's all I can tell you. But but I think it just look adorable. So after I am done with the end of the first layer that I did, I decide that, it looks kind of like it's missing something. Well, obviously it's missing something because it's not finished. Anyway, I got this big rope that I got at the Dollar Tree and I took it apart. It's a nautical rope again, it's in the garden area. I took it apart because I wanted just one of it instead of three. And what I did, I used my hot glue on the frame inside the frame. So I hope that makes sense. But anyway, I glued it all the way around the heart shape. And then when that was done, I went in and did my yarn, twisting my yarn again, and then covered those six little kind of legs, I guess, or what are they? The one that holds the reef. So I just wanted to cover them because I want everything to be nice and, covered and looks pretty. So I think it turned out cute because again, I twisted two yarns together and just wrapped it around those black little wires that was on the reef. And I think it turned out gorgeous. So when that was done, I pulled a little more string out of that rope from Dollar Tree and I used these two little felt hearts that is actually from the Valentine's stash. I tie it to the middle and I glued two hearts together because I kind of wanted more thicker heart. So you don't have to do it. One is pretty cool, but if you wanted to do just like mine, that's what I did. I used two of them together. And here one go. I think it turned out so adorable. It's so soft and all my family just love it. Okay, so this is the second frame that I was telling you guys about that the Dollar Tree had two variation. So I wish I would have got more. I just got one of each and it's just adorable. I have so many projects in mind for it, but I'm really hoping when I go back they'll still have it. But anyway, I used my white chalk paint to paint my frame and while that was drying, I again outlined my wedding picture because it's my anniversary is coming. We actually got married on a Valentine's Day, but I wanted to keep it all year long. And again, I shaded some of the areas that was not covered on the paper with my pencil, and I used my glue stick to glue the picture and then Mod Podge over as always. So when that was done, I went back to my truffle color chalk paint and again I outlined the insides and I went a little bit above, the heart, so kind of give it the dimension because I did not want to use the jute since I already used it on the other frame. After that was done, I used my dry brush method and I went with the same color of the chalk paint, which is truffle, around the border of the frames and I spiced it up a little bit on all over the frame. And I think I went a little overboard, but I actually like how it turned out. And that brush was kind of falling apart. I need a different brush. If you guys have suggestions for good brushes for dry methods, leave me a comments in the description below. So then I used my little sanding block and sand over it before I placed my Cricut printout that I did. Again, you can use carbon paper for those wordings, but if you have a Cricut, you can go right at it and have fun with it. It is fun. So again, Mod Podge over it and made a cute little bow. Cannot be without the bow, you know me. So I like to add in the bows to everything big and small, but this ones were all small, so I didn't go overboard. Then I placed my picture frame back in the frame where it's supposed to be, and I love it. Just fits just perfectly, and you don't need a glass. You don't need to worry about the glass or anything. So I think it turned out pretty cute. And again, I did a little hook to hang it on the wall. And this frame actually comes with the wooden dowel in the back that you can make it stand up. And here we go. Everything's just wonderful. I love how it turned out. Yay, you made it to the end. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you guys got some inspiration. Let me know which one was your favorite. And if you haven't done it yet, please hit the subscribe button. Love you all very much. And I will see you in the next one real soon. Bye for now.